Welcome back, it's Chris from the Hagon Factory. This week we've done a bit of work on the 350 Velocette Hagon, bit of work on the DT 250, made a muffler for that, or started to make a muffler for that. I've interviewed Dad, which is Alan, which you've seen on a few videos, about what he's done to the Velocette 350 engine. I think we should just get into it and have a look. Righto, so what I've got here is just a scrap bit of alloy. I've quickly marked out a bit of a bracket that I need to cut out on the bandsaw to help with the support on the gearbox plates and the gearbox. So we'll run it through the bandsaw now and we'll see how it fits. So I've cut the bracket out on the bandsaw. Velocettes normally have just one adjuster through here, through the top here, bolts on here, backwards and forwards. So we put the second one on, as you know, you've seen that in other videos. I'll put this here to help it, and then we're going to put this plate up here, which I cut out on the bandsaw. I will put a slotted hole in there, and that will help lock that side. So both sides will be locked, so hopefully there'll be no twist from the torque from the engine, and we'll see how we go with it. Now, due to the final drive on the Velo, as you know, nothing lines up. So the engine plates have been offset. The spaces I've made, it's only a starting point. So at the moment we need a 20mm spacer on the sprocket at the rear wheel. I think I might be able to change that. I think we might be able to get down to maybe 5-10 at the most. So 10mm at the most. So we've got spaces on both sides. We'll keep working on that, but once the engine and the gearbox is bolted in, we'll know more. This is my father, Alan. You've seen him before on some of the videos, but he's going to give us a quick rundown on what he's done to the 350 engine. He's been working on it for a long time. He's just got it back off me now. We've already had a recall on it and it hasn't even started yet, so he's going to give us a quick rundown.
Yeah, okay. Well, what I've done is I have built a lot of these engines over the years with some sort of success, but I've ported the head right out to 30mm, and I know that's not the maximum you can get out. I mean, you can get a bit more, but you've got to be careful you don't break into the rocker box. And then I fitted the biggest inlet valve that you can put in it, which touches the spark plug hole, and then I've put a Triumph Bonneville piston in it, a 9-to-1 Triumph Bonneville piston. You've got to overbore them to 71mm, but there's plenty of meat there to do that. Big end and mains, everything's good there. I've modified the push rod tube here. They just had a bit of asbestos string and a screw that you screwed down, and they were notorious oil leakers there, so this is my latest experiment to stop it leaking oil. That's O-ringed, it's got the 3 O-rings in there, so I think be battling to get out of there, I think. It's got a BTH magneto, which I think is the best of the early magnetos, and it's got a Rico oil pump, and I think it should perform pretty well. They do go quite well, these, and they respond very well to modification. So
we're going to run this one on methanol? Don't know yet.
I haven't decided yet. The last one I had was running on methanol, and it made beautiful power. I might just give it a run on petrol first and see how it goes. But it's got enough compression and everything to run methanol, and I've got all the species to put on methanol, the jet sizes and everything, so
no worries.
Yeah, so we should be able to do that if we need to, but we'll give it a run first and see how it goes, and it'll probably be nearly as quick as the 500, I reckon.
Fantastic.
Because these little machines do rev. Yeah,
it's shorter stroke, isn't it?
No, it's the same stroke.
Is it?
Same stroke, but they just, for some reason, they just rev quite well.
Because measured up next to the 500, it's actually shorter.
Yeah.
It is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What else you made? You made a breather that you're going to put on the
I've made a breather that'll fit on here. It's a bit of a copy off one that a guy called Les Duna made, and he was probably the best man on these engines anywhere. And I've sort of copied his breather. I got the specs from him years ago. And yeah, we'll go down that part of the big breather because they do get a fair bit of pressure in the crankcases and so on, and they do need to breathe. But generally, pretty tough little motor, and usually don't give a lot of trouble. So
excellent.
We'll see how we go with it.
Can't wait. Righto.
Okay.
So I've been doing a little bit of machining for a muffler for Dad's DT250, so I'll show you a bit of that and we'll show you the bike. It's coming up very well. It's a good looking thing. Right, this is the DT250 that the old man's been putting together. I haven't done really anything on this. I rolled up the cones for the chamber and mate Will finished that off for us. I tacked it together. This is the bike that I was making the muffler for, which you saw in the video. This bike was made out of all the worst bits you could find, but it's come up pretty nice. I'd like to thank everybody for watching the videos, really appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and hopefully in a week's time, 7 days, we'll have another video ready to go. Thank you very much.